Deputy Captain Connolly.
Thank you. I have 3 minutes.
3 minutes left.
3 minutes. I could say a lot. I won't. I believe that the vaccination is just one part of a process, and I think you're utterly failing in relation to the overall process to have trust. I don't think that your messaging and your mixed messaging is helping trust in the system. If specifically with the time available in relation to the vaccine, my colleague has raised Dr. Sloan, and indeed he was on the Clare Byrne today, and it really reads. Let me take the front of the Irish Times first. Dr. Mary Favier, GP, member of NEFIT, talking about a problem with deliveries. Dr. Macaulay, chair of the GP Council, talking about delivery. Very mild, moderate manner. And then we have Dr. Sloan at the end of his tether on behalf of patients. And what he describes is simply unbelievable. Now, I don't know which minister is going to answer me, but if you could take a minute and then allow me a minute to come back in relation to that debacle. Thank you.
Anara.
Thank you, Deputy. I have to say, I think your criticism, you've used very strong language. And I think your criticism, which is essentially a criticism of the thousands of women and men who are working 7 days a week to roll out what has been one of the fastest rollouts in the EU, prioritising our most vulnerable, changing at very short notice from AstraZeneca to the much more complex MNRA, changing at very short notice to reprioritisation of people with underlying conditions. I think, Deputy, it is deeply unfair criticism, not of me, criticise me all you want, but of the people who have worked night and day. The facts speak for themselves. At the start of this week, we had received about 520,000 vaccine doses. And by the end of this week, we hope to have administered approximately 500,000 doses. And I just think it is deeply unfair and unbalanced to come in here and suggest that that is a shambles. I do accept that there are. I do accept. I'll finish on this, Deputy. I just want to say I'm just saying I accept criticism.
To be fair to the Deputy.
It is my time, and you have abused that time, Minister. I did not criticise anyone. I commented that Dr. Sloan was at the end of his tether on behalf of his patients. It is totally disingenuous of you to twist those words. I am not asking you any more questions. I'm using my 30 seconds to say what you have said is utterly disgraceful. We want to work with you, and it is impossible when you're being disingenuous. I had 3 minutes. I wanted to use them to elicit clarity. Perhaps if the other minister had answered, we might be further along the way. I have now 13 seconds left.
11.
It is simply unacceptable to deal with elected members in this manner, to personalise matters and not to answer a practical question in relation to the operational difficulties that one doctor in particular, and he's only representative of others, of the difficulties on the ground. The criticism is with you.
Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you.
Minister, will you reply in writing to the criticism as well? Would be a good idea because you're up against the clock.
I'd be more than happy to debate it at length and respectfully with the Deputy. I really would, and I know we're out of time.
We can't do that.
I'd be more than happy at a later date to engage with the Deputy at any length on this. I was simply responding to the Deputy's charge that the programme was a shambles. Right. And I was trying to answer the questions raised.
I know.
Like I'd be more than happy if the House would allow. I'm more than happy to spend more time with the Deputy.
I want